The Tommy Campbell Show. Things are getting wild this week with new old Epstein photos featuring Donald Trump, who continues to go between passing out on the job to giving incoherent marathon-length rambles. I think Donald Trump keeps talking not just for his own ego, but because he knows when it's time for listening, he'll fall asleep, so he has to keep running his orange mouth. It's like the movie Speed. If the bus went below 50 miles per hour, it blows up. And if Trump is forced to hear anything other than the sound of his own voice or some blonde teens, he'll pass out.
Interview this week.
Hello. Somebody's in there. Come on out.
Mr. President, Senators Cassidy and Crapo have introduced a bill to create health savings accounts to replace Obamacare subsidies. Do you support that bill?
I don't know what's more clueless, Trump just blocking the bathroom door or Karoline deciding to drop a deuce on the plane when you know the shouty orange man can appear at any moment like Beetlejuice with bone spurs for an impromptu press conference. How did she not hear him? Those plane toilets have no insulation or dignity. If anything, she should have just ridden it out. You're already in a pressurized fart tube, you may as well finish the mission. Instead, we get her body checking a frail man because she panicked mid-spray. Honestly, I'm just shocked he didn't yell, "Quiet, piggy," through the door the second he heard the splashdown. But to be fair, he probably didn't even realize he was standing in front of a bathroom door. Toilets aren't something Donald Trump has used in years. Those big boy pants do all the heavy lifting. Where's Eric with the golden turd tongs? Subscribe.
Obviously, just last night, we received about 95,000 photographs from the Epstein estate. I want to be clear. Our committee, Oversight Democrats, have gone through maybe about 25,000 of them so far. So there's an enormous amount of photos that we have not gone through. It will take days and weeks to ensure that we go through those photos and that a redaction is done in the appropriate way. But I think, again, these pictures, some of these photos are really disturbing. And I know we've put some out today. There are many others. And some of the other photos that we did not put out today are incredibly disturbing.
95,000 Epstein photos, and only a quarter of them have been reviewed so far. And we have to be fair here. It does take a lot of time to redact them because there are even pictures in pictures, like this one of Bannon with Epstein. Not sure what's going on with that photo on the desk. Someone is passed out, and he has a picture of it there like a prize. And yes, Bannon, who already showed up in the emails and is now in print, along with Trump, Clinton, Bill Gates, Larry Summers, Woody Allen, all appearing across this trove. Some photos are old, some are deeply uncomfortable, and as Garcia just said, some of the ones not released publicly yet are incredibly disturbing. This isn't speculation, this isn't rumor, this is part of the first wave of actual evidence coming out of Epstein's orbit after years of sealed files, missing documents, and political hand-waving. Not sure who these young ladies are, but Trump has his hands on two of them. You can see quite firmly. And here he is ogling a blonde on a plane, a blonde that many are wondering if that is Pam Bondi, with the part on her hair and her hands being very close to hers. So there's that. Another one of Bannon and Steve taking a photo in a mirror. It's weird. Woody Allen with Epstein. Okay. Even a visit on set. At least he wasn't making a kids movie. Clinton in a group photo with Ghislaine. See, the Democrats aren't trying to hide or protect anyone here. They're putting out what's in there. But I do have to note that as Trump mentioned Clinton in posts again and again, Epstein himself wrote in the released emails, Clinton was never on the island. That's from Epstein's own correspondence, not media spin. The emails confirm Clinton never visited the island, directly contradicting years of MAGA propaganda. There's other photos that include Bill Gates and Prince Andrew, no shocker, and this pile of Trump condoms. I'm huge. Anyone in search of a Magnum would be disappointed when they find a tiny Cheeto sleeve inside this big flap. This is like the large bag of chips that you open and then there's just a small bunch at the bottom. Like you open this and you get the kind of covering you'd get of when your finger got cut. Those that worked in kitchens or slept with Trump know the type. Also, $4.50 a condom? Are you trying to get people to raw dog it? Because that's pricey. Anyhow, I updated these images for accuracy. I'm small. Personal Vietnam. It's what he called it. Tiny mushroom sores. A plaster caster of this guy would just be a Cheeto. This is only the beginning, and based on what they're hinting at, the rest is going to get a lot darker.
I can do that at a later date. I obviously don't have that in front of me. The president has spoken about that quite extensively throughout the years. As for the bandages on the hand, we've also given you an explanation for that in the past. The president is literally constantly shaking hands. The Oval Office is like Grand Central Terminal.
Still pushing the shaking hands excuse. Not exactly, promoting his vitality by suggesting that a light grip will rip your flesh. Oh, but it's so many shakes. It's so many. Did you ever play sports? Good game, good game, good game, good game, good game, the entire team. When I join my son and his friends for some road soccer, football, or street hockey, I get it going with the good game after. And you know what they say nowadays? GG. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, good game, and the kids are all like, GG, GG, GG. I'm like, what, is this a thing now? And their coaches tell them to say GG. We have to abbreviate everything. But Trump is trying to shake off a lot of things, including the New York Times expose on his health. His second meltdown over the New York Times story didn't correct a single fact. He just escalated the accusations. He claimed the reporting was seditious, treasonous, and part of a plot to destabilize his presidency, even though the article relied entirely on publicly logged scheduled data maintained by roll call. The Post turned the whole thing into a loyalty test, framing factual reporting as an attack on the country without offering a single counterpoint to the actual data. If you want people to believe you're bursting with energy, maybe don't write a post that reads like a winded man yelling up a flight of stairs, or continue to fall asleep in public and show off your mental decline. Gavin Newsom posted, "Wow, President Trump is a titan of wellness. His stamina is unmatched. Our commander-in-chief only needs a tiny nap to power through a full meeting. Get this man into the Olympics ASAP. The hamburger that did him in. Thank you." Peanut farmer, peanut brain. He also called him a sick freak and put Trump saying, "I love minors," on a loop. I love it when he goes dark, Newsom.
Farming equipment has gotten too expensive. And a lot of the reason is because they put these environmental excesses on the equipment, which don't do a damn thing except make it complicated, make it impractical. And you really have to be, in many cases, you need about 185 IQ to turn on a lawnmower. Now, so we're into 6G now. I just finished 5G. I was a leader on 5G, getting that done. And now they're up to 6.
Let's do it again.
What does that do? Give you a little bit deeper view into somebody's skin? See how perfect it is? I like the cameras the old days. So they just had a nice feature. Now they cover every little. Let's see, Michael, you're in good shape. You're not gonna. But I tell you, it's the 6 is coming, huh?
It's coming.
Does it ever end? And what happens? You'll be into 7, right? Before 6 gets old, you'll be into 7. Anybody have anything else to say? Anybody?
Nobody has anything to say because nobody will correct him. First off, here's a deeper view into his skin. Gross. Trump keeps bragging about 6G as if it's a camera resolution, saying it'll make everything so crystal clear you won't miss a thing. The confusion is that 5G and 6G aren't about image quality at all. They're wireless network standards, basically the speed and capacity of mobile data, not the sharpness of video. 6G doesn't even exist yet outside of early research. So when he talks about 6G cameras, it's like confusing Wi-Fi with HD pixels. As for the lawn mowing, Newsom ripped into him with this. Yes, how did this young man pull this off? Like, the same people that are rounding up all the gardeners are also saying that they're off the charts geniuses. They got to have a 185 to get these things going. I guarantee you Trump would not be able to start a lawnmower, change a tire, or figure out the self-checkout. This man is clueless and sheltered, and I love that Newsom continues to mock Trump's fake prizes. Here's a more accurate trophy for the guy. Hey, where you going? I was in Home Alone 2. Terrific night accepting the first ever Kennedy Center Peace Prize. Audience was amazing. Chairs not great. Lighting disaster. Trump and janitor Rick Grinnell let the whole place go to hell. I told him as Trump dozed off, rename it the Newsom Center. Only I can fix it. Crowd went wild. People fainting, crying, speaking in tongues. Even RFK Jr. was so moved and inspired by me that he grabbed tweezers and tried to take out the brain worm. A historic night for America. You're welcome. Thank you for your attention to this matter, GCN. Fantastic. I make this show on my own. If you can afford it, drop me a PayPal tip or a super thanks, become a member, and check out my merch. I'm not sure who made this, but it's next level. So accurate. Thank you. I love this one of the Cracker Barrel version of the Vance meme with Trump in the background. I don't know if he's laughing or crying. If I were still alive, I'd be in Trump's cabinet. Yep. And speaking of Trump's cabinet, Kristi Noem took home first place in the stupid contest and got owned big time.
Harry, how many United States military veterans have you deported?
Sir, we have not deported U.S. citizens or military veterans.
I don't believe you served in the military. I haven't either, but I think you and I can agree that as Americans, we owe everything to those who have served our country in uniform, particularly those who have served in combat. Do you agree with that?
Sir, I believe that people that are in this United States that are citizens have legal status here.
Madam Secretary, we are joined on Zoom by a gentleman named Sejun Park. He is a United States Army combat veteran who was shot twice while serving our country in Panama in 1989.
Sejun Park, a U.S. Army veteran and Purple Heart recipient who's lived in the U.S. nearly 50 years. He was deported to South Korea, a country he hasn't lived in since he was 7, despite being clean for 14 years and dealing with PTSD. Noem's policies didn't catch cartel bosses or traffickers. They went after a decorated veteran with trauma. And when pressed, she suddenly promised to review it and then admitted that multiple veterans and family members have been deported under her watch, after saying that nobody had been deported. Another prize for you, Kristi, awarded for combining the most makeup with the most lies. You know that's the real reason Kiss were at the White House. Gene Simmons was there to confront Noem about taking all their makeup.
Maybe I want a workout area where people might get some blood flowing doing some pull-ups or some step-ups.
As we want to have the most enjoyable experience for them, and we know that we have families and nursing mothers. Someone might want to come through and do a couple pull-ups.
Mini gyms. We just want to put in simple equipment that everyone can use that can encourage people in airports to get a little bit of movement, 5 minutes of movement here and there, and to create an atmosphere that's really friendly toward people working out.
Okay, nobody can afford to check a bag. That's why everyone is carrying one, wearing one, or dragging one through an airport with a broken wheel. I flew last week and hit my move goal just from transiting between terminals and lugging my carry-on. At no point did I think, I wish there was a spot for me to do some pull-ups here, to show off my gymnastic skills. I thought everyone was supposed to be dressing for success and getting all fancy at the airport. Now we gotta rip and stain the nice clothes you want us to wear. Traveling can be a bit crap, okay? It is. That's why bars exist in the airport. You know, have a few, relax. Now I get that the nursing mom can't have a beer, but that doesn't mean she should be putting the kid down to go do some pull-ups. It's just ridiculous. And I have a kid, so I'm all for play areas, and some airports have them and they're great. Singapore went there. They have a butterfly garden. There are cool things in airports that make them better places. But mainly, let's just invest in speed, invest in safety, make things fair for passengers instead of dropping money on monkey bars so Kennedy can do his Levi's micro workout. Last Saturday, I took a hilarious deep dive into Mike Lindell announcing his run for Minnesota governor before every outlet suddenly broke the story nearly a week later. Since Lindell's thrown his box of hair dye and Temu glued dentures into his second go at an election, here's a quick reminder of what people are up against.
And in every state, they got to be gone. Remember, we have the evidence now. We have the evidence that that we got out of Mesa County inside the Dominion machine. It's right here on Frank's speech. We have the evidence that the cyber guys can go to, check it all out, and it's over. It's over. We know what they were hiding now, and it's not just Dominion machines, but all the machines, and we got to get rid of them. So Brandon, whoops. Okay, hold on. This is the bad thing about being on the road. I dropped the phone.
Yeah, I have it happen sometime too.
Okay. Let's get back here.
I just love him dropping it, and his own co-host can't keep it in. He has to laugh at him. That's the thing with comedy. Funny is funny. It's part of the fun. Making someone laugh at something that they're not comfortable with laughing at. You can't help it. We've all had things that maybe we shouldn't have laughed at. And this guy did eventually lose his job. Now, Tom Selleck's slow cousin is ready for his next job. He thinks he's ready to run Minnesota when he ran his own company into the ground. You'd think going bankrupt and being a convicted felon would disqualify you, but these days that seems to check a couple boxes. If you missed that episode, it's wild. Stick around after the outro. It's queued up. What's the bet this bald cis does things, use imaginations in parking lots at night for money? Just saying. This show has some of the smartest, most interesting and funny viewers on YouTube, and you're not one of them. I am genuinely fascinated by this level of stupidity. I bet this bald cis does things, use imaginations. Cis? Am I your sister, your friend? Am I in the Secret Intelligence Service? Were you going for sissy and you ran out of change to plug the compact Presario at the internet cafe? Because if you're low on quarters, head to the parking lot and use your imaginations and get back to me with another quality comment. MAGA tears. You are comedian. Really? This is impossible. Thanks for taking a break from the window licking to leave this one. This is impossible. It's on point for this lot not to believe their own eyes. On top of all the views and comments on this funny, factual, and wild show here on YouTube, I also have the data of my Spotify Wrapped, with my stand-up comedy clocking in 1.9 million streams in 2025. That's 77.3 thousand hours, or nearly 9 straight years of my jokes being played. MAGA tears. Yes, the House Oversight Committee just detonated a political girl nerd press conference, or deciding to drop a deuce on the plane when you know the shouty orange man can appear at any moment like Beetlejuice with bone spurs. People fainting, crying, speaking in tongues, and even RFK Jr. was so moved and inspired by me that he grabbed tweezers and tried to take out a brain worm. He tried to take out the brain worm. Tiny mushroom sores. A plaster caster of this guy would be a Cheeto. You'd see that on the shelf. You're already in a pressurized fart tube. You may as well finish the mission. This is all silly. How are we in this timeline?
The Tommy Campbell Show is the best political comedy show on YouTube. And I hope you subscribe.